Hey everyone, this is a graveyard farm on Druid. It gets you anywhere between 35 and 45,000 XP per an hour, which is pretty great. I think it outpaces questing at the moment. It doesn't outpace a good AOE mage farm. In a dungeon, if you can grab one of those groups. But as a solo, it's pretty great and it's pretty easy. Just like put on a movie or a Twitch stream and just kind of farm this without paying much attention. I started at level 30 with pretty much no gear. So if you happen to have, all this BFD gear, it's going to be even easier for you. If you don't have much gear and you don't feel comfortable, as a druid or doing this, start at level 31 or 32. As you get higher level, it'll be easier because the issue is there's level 33 mobs. Your level 30 hit chance is pretty bad against them. So which is why I highly recommend having the BFD boon. All the stats are great, but the biggest thing is the hit chance. And then if you want, you can craft the leatherworking gloves for that extra 1% hit chance. Other than that, my gear was just random BOEs I bought. I did go and grab these rings from the Warsong Gulch vendor, which give you some great stats, which is all good. And then I did end up running BFD once, and I won the trinket. Other than that, my gear's pretty much just been improved by items that I've dropped from in here. Like I said, I was getting around 37,000 XP an hour at level 30. Now that I've hit 32, I'm up to around 45,000 XP an hour. Pretty much entirely just from the additional spell damage I've gotten, as well as my hit chance going up. For ruins, you pretty much have to have Furious Storm Rage. This gives you the instant cast Wrath. The free mana cast on Wrath, as well as the instant cast procs on Healing Touch. Which is the Wrath keeps us from going and then the Healing Touch is how we stay alive. Next, I'm using Eclipse just for the damage boost from it. You don't really have to have this one. The damage boost isn't that huge. With that said, you can't solo it, but directly. But if you end up doing the chain to get it, and you go to that level 38 elite that we can't solo at level 30, you don't actually have to kill her. The two steps to complete the quest are to loot the chest and then talk to her. So if you show up and she's already dead, you can just loot the key and then talk to her when she respawns and then run away. Or you can show up, talk to her, run away, and then wait for someone to kill her. You don't ever have to attack her, kill her, or anything. Next, I use Star Surge, just great damage without costing any mana. Dream State, this one you can easily solo. It's a non-Decimalist. I soloed it at level 30 with no problem at all. I highly recommend getting it because it just gives us a nice little damage boost, 20% to nature damage actually, as well as giving us the mana regen, which is great. Finally, you kind of have a flex spot between Wild Growth and Sunfire. I personally use Wild Growth because it's just another instant cast heal that I can use when I'm getting unlucky with my procs on my instant healing touch. It'll use more mana, but it keeps you alive. Your other option is Sunfire, but I personally recommend Wild Growth. For talents, these are the talents I'm using. The reduced cast time and Wrath is huge. Here, this right here, there's no real good choices. I did take the improved Moonfire because what else are you gonna take? The natural shapeshifter doesn't help, but you'll see why. You kind of need to have the points. Extended range, again, not too useful, but it gets you down to this level. The Vengeance is great, increases the crit chance, and then I put 1 point in Nature's Grace. Your next 2 points after you hit level, so this is level 30. 30 to 40, you kind of lose options here because we can't get to Moon Fury without spending 5 more points or 4 more points, right? Moon Glow is just reduced mana cost, which we don't need at all. This is reduced cast time on Starfire. This is probably the best choice here because all these are pretty useless. I don't really care to take it. So at this point, I would go ahead and start putting points into whatever you wanted to do at 40. If you're doing the rest of DPS build, you would put it in improved Mark of the Wild, which I'll do now. I show them a wigs I haven't decided, and then the improved Healing Touch. Or else if you're gonna play Moonkin, just continue doing the normal Moonkin talents, and heading towards that Moonkin form. Other than that, though, it didn't really matter too much. I just recommend following this, if you're gonna do this farm. For other reasons to do this outside of the XP per hour, the items are pretty great. There's 3 rare spawns, which first can drop the Druid-specific books that were out of Facade. There's 3 of them. One of them gives us a normal revive. Here it is, which is always great, since we're not just relying on our long cooldown of Rebirth. The other one is Deeper Wilds, which reduces the mana cost of Mark of the Wild increases its duration. And then the last one's Enhanced Restoration, which lets multiple druids have hots on the same target. It's all great. And then the rares themselves, they don't spawn every time, but there's a trick to make them respawn, which I'll show you. The first one I showed, the Sleepless, drops this great necklace, which I'm wearing now. And then Fallen Champion, drops these gloves for a Feral Druid if you want, as well as a helmet if you don't already have the BFD one. And then Iron Spine has a ring for Ferals. This first hallway, you can skip it or clear it. It's pretty easy. It's just 2 separate pulls of 31 mobs. My rotation is I open with Starfire, cast Star Surge on cooldown, and then I spam Wrath in between. You can try and cast Starfires here if you have the reduced knockback from Eclipse. I don't think it's really worth it because you can still get knocked back, and it also doesn't proc our instant healing touches. So I just keep spamming Wrath. The damage difference isn't that huge. As well as we continue having mana regen while casting Wrath. For consumables, I do recommend bringing some food and water, even though you won't need much. It does help, on certain bad pulls where you just you screw up or you don't get good procs or whatever. And then also have heavy silk bandage or normal silk bandage. Those are great because you'll farm a lot of silk in here, which is nice because it'll be self-replenishing and won't cost you anything to use. For this room, I do recommend skipping it. I actually just got another blue. I do recommend skipping it. There's just too many group pulls. You can do it if you pull everything back to the entrance, kill one mob and then reset, kill one mob and reset. But it kills your XP per hour, and then the boss isn't worth it. So I skip all the way to the actual graveyard itself, and this is where you kind of farm until you're done. There's 3 different types of mobs here. The first one is the English Shed, but first I'm going to show you. So if you ever accidentally pull, and you pull too much or you're just not feeling it, you can just hop up here, and then it's safe. One thing to note is if you're close to the mobs, they still attack you, so you do have to run away. And you cannot attack them. It is an evade spawn, so they will heal and then eventually go back. And this works all around here, all these spots. So I'll go ahead and show you this mob first. So he does spawn these ads, which is annoying. I made a macro to just automatically target them and cast a rank 1 moonfire, which is enough damage to kill them. So I just kind of run away, pop it, and then they're dead. I'll go ahead and I'll put that macro down below so you can use that as well if you want. Other than that, these mobs are pretty easy. They can be a little scary at level 33, but you should have no problems at all killing them. And then again, remember if you're not getting your healing touch procs, to just use a wild growth. It will use more mana, which is the only downside. Which is why it's nice to bring water, because if you're just getting unlucky. Other than that, these guys are pretty easy. The next pull is the English Deads. They do have a few models, but they're the same. They hit pretty hard melee, and then other than that, they have a curse that will reduce incoming healing by 75%. Right there, Veil of Shadow. The good news is that we're druids, and we have remove curse. So all you need to do is, before you actually use your heal, remove it, heal, and then other than that, these guys are pretty easy. Ignore my, the XP per hour on this add-on up here. This is wrong because I had so much downtime. A, talking through this, and B, getting this, starting it. When I started at level 30, I was hitting around 35,000 XP per an hour, and now that I'm 32, I'm hitting up closer to around 44,000 XP an hour. The third type of pull you'll fight up here is these guys, the spirits. One thing to note is there is a patrolling ad that will walk all the way to the crypt and then to around in between these 4 sets of benches, so just watch out for that. When you first start the spirits, if you start them at level 31, or level 30, you can pull a triple pack of 32s, which can get a little dicey depending on your instant cast procs as well as your gear. So don't be afraid to pull them, kill one, hop up and reset, and then kill another one or the other two. But once you're level 31, 32, or if you have good gear, they're not a problem at all. And then there will often be a chest spawn here. It's not always locked, but it's nice. You can get 12 slot bags, some greens, blues, just some money making. I actually cleared my bags when I started this and all my gold. So I was at 0. Now I'm up to 64 by level 32, so it's actually made pretty great gold. That's from selling some blues and greens on the auction house. For example, this drops. It's a BOE. You can sell it on the auction house. That was nice. And there's a blue staff you can sell in the auction house, and a bunch of other things. So that was the 3 different kinds of pulls, besides the rares, which I already mentioned. Their spawn points are either in this little tomb, in this little area over here on my left by the fountain, as well as the back left and back right. If you did not get one in your, in your instance, you don't need to reset. As what you can do is you can clear all those spots, and since all the ads in here respawn, and when they respawn pretty fast, so make sure you're always watching out for that, because there is no kind of dead time when they respawn for them to attack you. They instantly start attacking you. So if you actually overpull, just hop on the ledge and reset. But since they respawn so quick, when they respawn in those spots where the rares can respawn, they have a chance at spawning as the rare. So you can just keep on clearing, and then once you get a rare and kill them, and then reset, and then a repeat. All the rares are pretty easy. Ashir the Sleepless, he has a curse he'll put on you that will deal like 600 damage after 60 seconds. So just watch that and either decurse it immediately or decurse it before it expires. And he also has like a Siphon Life that's a channel. If you're a Torn, you can War Stomp, you can throw a grenade at it, or you can just kill him through it. It doesn't deal too much. But that's pretty much. I just keep on repeating this. You don't need to, or you can go kill the final boss. You'll need to stealth through the tomb because there's too many packs of 3 that are too hard to kill, or else you can pull him and kite him on this back fence right here. I don't really think he's worth killing it. He only drops like a spell power orb, and the XP you get isn't only worth the time. So I just kind of keep clearing up here in a circle. Reset for the rares until you have all your books and then the gear you want. But then after that, you don't really need to reset. Everything respawns fast enough. And like I said, once you're 32 or so, you can get up to around 45,000 XP an hour.